Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another quick pick prediction video. In this video, I'll be predicting the welterweight bout between Kevin Holland versus Jack Della Maddalena. And how I feel about this one right here is I'm going low confidence Jack Della Maddalena. Yeah, this was a close fight, kind of tough to pick. I was on the fence, probably leaning more Kevin Holland, but after watching that recent interview, I was like, I don't know where his head's at. And I can understand, probably get tired of answering some specific questions, so you kind of give that type of answer. And ultimately, it probably ain't gonna be that big a deal, but close fight, and I was so close on the fence, so much on it that I'm still on the fence, but I'm just shifting down to Jack Della Maddalena and ultimately picking Jack Della Maddalena. Yeah, that's all I need to shift, like something like that. It was obviously a fight was easier to pick or easier to lean easier to lean to a particular fighter, especially with substance. That little interview would mean nothing, but a fight this close, in my opinion, or in my head, that's enough to yeah, I'm shifting over here. This guy talking about he just not worried about title fights. He's about making money and whatnot and wearing jewelry and wearing chains, even though he got wearing all the money he ever made in the UFC on his hands and chain and stuff. No hating, just you ain't Conor McGregor, you ain't no big money maker. Like you making way more money than the average person. You make way more money than you probably 1% to some extent, 2%, 10% or whatnot. But yeah, it's like maximize and go for big fights. And you at the end of the day, you hear money is probably really the number one thing, but the big number two is that you hear in the UFC to be chase championships, try to be the best. And I gotta go Jack Della Maddalena, the guy who wants to be the best or want to be there, whereas Kevin Holland probably wants to be the best, but it's clearly more than other guys a secondary focus. So going Jack Della Maddalena here. Also, I don't like the fact that, well, I guess I like the fact that Kevin Holland has been a bit of a slow start, dealing that welterweight. You're coming down fighting quicker, faster, more technical guys. So it typically would be a slower start for guys like that. You're coming down from middleweight to welterweight and adjusting to these faster guys. And, he's getting better and better at adjusting or readjusting to welterweight. But again, it's going to be that adjusting phase because you're dealing with smaller, faster, sharper, more technical guys. So it's kind of harder to find them, kind of harder to find your timing, finding your range and all that stuff. So it takes him more time, whereas I think Maddalena will be able to find his timing earlier, and I think that will get him off to a good early start. And I think that Kevin Holland will be relying on the big counters and these big moments. I think he'll have his moments throughout the fight, not necessarily relying purely on a big shot or not. But I think Maddalena will be more consistent, more active. And really, as far as Kevin Holland winning, he's going to be relying on finishing Maddalena or really landing clean and flush and dealing big damage when he does land. Because I think Maddalena will get off a good start and he'll be able to chew the leg up, chew the body up, and really get Holland on defensive early. And also get off to an earlier start, which will, that early start will allow him to start to set the narrative and set the tone. And Holland will have to try to work back into the fight, in the fight that's already close. But yeah, I think it's gonna be a close fight nonetheless. I think it's gonna be back and forth. But I think Maddalena is gonna be more consistently landing heavier shots, and the guy that ultimately wants it more than just for the money and whatnot. So I think this goes to decision. I think this is going to be a competitive fight. But again, Maddalena being more active and also getting off to the early start and more consistently landing the heavier shots. So in this one, I got Jack Della Maddalena via decision.